stepping up to the stage.
You guys give these two sisters a hand right here. City of Pasadena. I was raised here pretty much all my life. I love Pasadena. I'm glad my mom took the chance coming from Ohio and stepped her move up to say, look, we're gonna go for better opportunities, which gave me a better opportunity. I owned the shop Tangles and Locks for 28 years on Lake and Murata Place, and I love being there because I watched so many young adults, and as adults now, I've seen so many generations grow up straight from this barbershop. And the thing about it is that I love to see what's going on here is because for one reason only, we are sticking together. There's an old saying that says, if you think education is expensive, try ignorance. We have to educate ourselves. We have to get to a place where we know exactly what's going on. I think we need to get, you know, with the youth, with you say the OGs and some of the older people, we need to get together. When we watch youth like this are so aggressive, just trying to make change and trying to see things become a better way, that we have to show them another way. And for the youth that's out there, we have to show them rules of engagement on how to deal with the police when they're getting pulled over. Sometimes you just set the tone. When we set the tone, when you're getting pulled over by a police officer, you don't come with an aggressive attitude. You can get more done with sugar than you can with salt. So the best thing for us to do is have a reason and have a way, have a purpose and have a plan when we are engaging police officers instead of being aggressive. You know, a lot of times when we be aggressive, what we're doing is taking the power out of our hands and we're putting it in somebody else's hands. And there's an old saying that says this, you can't control something that's out of your control, and once you try to control something that's out of your control, we tend to lose what God gave us to control, which is us. So therefore, when we engage the police, we have to have a better attitude. No, it's not fair. No, because you're black, it's not fair. No, because you're Latino, it's not fair. But guess what? Life is not fair. So because life is not fair, we have to just do it better than somebody else. And hopefully we're able to come home to our parents. Hopefully we'll be able to come home to our friends and family members. I have a friend of mine, I gave a ride today, and on the way here, and he had talked to me, and I said, what is your take on this? And he had said something to me that was so interesting. He said, man, it really hurts because when I was growing up, I didn't know which friend was going to be hanging in the morning when I was on my way to school. And for a lot of us, we can't even see that. We can't even understand that. But this is still going on because these lives right here are lost because of it. So I thank everybody for showing up. I thank everybody for getting themselves out of bed or coming from work or doing whatever they're doing, because this is what we call a sacrifice. There's an old saying that says this, if you think life has robbed you, it's always an inside job. Hello, y'all didn't get that, huh? I'm gonna say it one more time. If you think life has robbed you, it's always an inside job. So that means we can't make any more excuses for nobody else. We can't make any more excuses why we're not successful. We can't make any more excuses why somebody's doing something to us. We can't make any more excuses why somebody's talking bad to us on Instagram. What we need to do is have a proactive attitude. We have to stop reacting and start being proactive. And see, when we're proactive, then things happen. When we're proactive, things change. And so therefore, when you look at what happens in Ferguson, when you see that it was only 16% of the people that voted. So therefore, when you have 68% of black African Americans there, but only 16% voted, then nothing's gonna change. So what I'm saying is we have to get educated. We have to educate each other. We have to educate our city, and we have to vote. And when we vote, if you don't like somebody, let's get them out. But as of right now, I want to thank all of you for coming. I want to thank these young sisters right here and the young brothers who all putting themselves out there. They're putting themselves on Front Street. They're going to be in the paper. They're putting themselves on Front Street. This is a target right here. But they're putting themselves out there, and that's what Martin Luther King did. And so what we need to do right now is pay homage to all of the people who lost their lives, and that's what we're doing here today. And I also want to thank the city of Pasadena for even supporting what they've done today and supporting these sisters and being official and being out there to help protect this situation. So I thank the city of Pasadena. I thank all the OGs that's around, all of the OGs that's around, and I want to thank the youth and everybody else who showed up today. God bless you. Everything is going to be all right, and we're going to make it through this.
Can we give him another round of applause, please? So this will be our last speaker. He goes by K-Ron. Are you here, K-Ron? Okay, great. So Kayron Valentine works on the front lines, mentoring and assisting both at-risk and incarcerated youth in their transition into positive, more productive lives. Having been rooted in hip-hop culture, as well as once being a school teacher, Kayron emerges his entertainment talents and resources with his background in education and juvenile justice. He is the author of Hip-Hop Life Skills Curriculum, Live Above the Hype, which engages young men to self-reflect on their values and to examine if their chosen behavior lines up with their ambitions. Let's welcome Kayron.
All right, everybody. Again, my name is Kayron, and appreciate being here. I appreciate everybody that's coming together, because again, we don't have to be here, and the fact that people have came out to really show solidarity and their commitment to change, it's a beautiful situation, and none of us should take that for granted. But tonight we'll be talking about the criminalization of black men, black young men, and things of that nature. And the situation is, this is not anything new. This has been rooted very deeply in the fabric of our nation. I mean, if we take it all the way back to slavery, when you're dealing with how they used to call us infidels and savages to justify slavery, or we're dealing with the Reconstruction period, when we had the vagrant laws and it was literally illegal to not have a job, you know what I'm saying, and it was cause for punishment by jail time. Or we could continue with the Birth of a Nation, the movie, when the images were put out there where it was really just about showing black males as predators, and that led to the rise of the Ku Klux Klan and the things of that nature. Or we could fast forward and we could start talking about the criminalization of a lot of the different activists during the civil rights movement. I mean, it's nothing new, you know what I'm saying? This is something that's been going on. We could even talk about the crack epidemic or the prison boom, or even the images of today, where when you're dealing, like I say, I talk about hip hop a lot, where how they snatch the consciousness out and only invest in the foolishness, you know what I'm saying? So when we're dealing with this criminalization of black males, it is nothing new. This is something that's been going on. It's been going on for hundreds and hundreds of years. So, but one thing about this, like when we see Mike Brown and Trayvon Martin and all these other young brothers, Sean Bell and the whole list, this is the time that wakes us up, and it's time to galvanize and understand that this is an opportunity to be reminded of what we're dealing with. Because I do different presentations, and we can talk about statistics and show how we're actually going backwards, but it looks like we're going forward because of the images that's put out there. So when we start talking about this, the thing is, anybody that understands the bully mentality, you never get a bully off your neck by trying to beg and plead with him, and hopefully he gets some kind of moral revelation and he'll stop whooping on you and snatching your lunch money and all that. It don't happen that way. The only way it's going to happen is through self-empowerment. You know, self-empowerment. When we say self-empowerment, we're talking about community empowerment. Like everybody that's been up here, I've loved what they've been doing, because they address the negative, but they also take responsibility that we got to do better. So when we talk about this situation, it's been clear. I mean, the Trayvon Martin situation is the most clearest of all, because we weren't even dealing with law enforcement. We're just dealing with a guy, just a regular random guy who killed this kid, and it told the country that it is literally legal to kill a black man. It is legal. Long as you can say you fearful, it's okay to kill a black man. It is literally legal. So what I want to just really talk about is self-empowerment. I'm very solution-based, so I'm going to definitely talk about some solutions. But another situation that I want to just really mention when we're talking about the legality of killing a black man, this officer, was it Officer Wilson? From right now, what we're seeing, he hasn't raised. His community has raised 425,000 and counting. Yes. They raised so much money. The first fundraiser that they had to shut that page down and open up another page under a charity so they could get tax write-offs for supporting this man. Yes. You see what I'm saying? And the key is that is a community situation where they're showing their support for his murderous act. Their community are together and they're saying, we support you killing that young man. That is what's being done. So when we're dealing with these, like the rallies, this is beautiful. The rallies, the protests, and the marching, I say this all the time, this is great. But this is only a pep rally. This is all this is. And we have to understand that the pep rally is to just get us ready for the game. When you go to high school and you go to a pep rally, that wasn't the event. You know, that was to get our mind right that we got a big game this weekend or whatever. This is the pep rally. So now the question is, what are we going to do once the pep rally is over? Once we start putting the signs down and we start, and the media attention is gone, and you know, there's no more outcry and all that, what are we going to do? So one of the things that I really considered us doing is we need to change our own self-image. We can't worry about all the images that's being put out there. We have to change our self-image. Like something very small, it's just changing how we address each other, particularly in the black community, when we say that what we call the N-word. If we just replace that with brother, that would change so much. I saw that in a documentary one time. If I say, hey, let's go ride on these, you know, it's easy. But if I say, let's go kill these brothers, I mean, it doesn't even flow right. I'm gonna kill a brother, it doesn't even make sense. So what we have to do is we have to start changing our own self-imagery. We have to make a commitment to community empowerment. Another thing that I really believe that we need to do is we need to make a commitment in our own way of what community empowerment looks like. And what I mean by that is, like, for those that go to church, you know you have to pay a tithe. Well, you don't have to. You know, they ask you to pay a tithe. You know, some churches they do, but generally you don't have to, you know, and you pay a tithe. We need to do the same thing with our commitment to community empowerment. And when I say paying the tithe, I'm not even talking about money. I'm talking about tithing our talents and our time. You know what I'm saying? Every week, we should be reevaluating, saying, what have I done this week? Have I done anything for the community? I don't care if it's just really just sitting down and seeing some young man and you can tell he's lost, and you just take the time to talk to him, or go volunteer for being a mentor, or whatever your gift is. I'm not one to tell you what you should be doing, you know, specifically. You know what your gifts are. But we should all be tithing our time and our talents for community involvement and community empowerment. These are things that happen after the pep rally. You know, also, we need to support people that we know that are doing the work. Again, when we look at this situation, we get mad and we say, man, the people done raised $425,000. That's $500,000. But what they were saying is they support him. So all these different people that's out here frontlining, they've been doing it for years. Support them. Support them, whether it's taking them out to lunch. I mean something. Do something. Support them when they have events, different things. Support the people that's doing the work, because it's going to take all of us. Again, this is the pep rally. And the last thing, as I wrap it up, we have to, as for those that work with youth, we have to really deal with character development. You know, we mentioned the youth curriculum and things like that. We have to deal with character development. When you look, I remember the sister that was up here earlier, she said she's a history teacher. I also love history. And one of the greatest things that I've seen in all the different great civilizations is they focused on character development. That's one thing we don't do. We focus on behavior, we focus on academics, and they have all this information. For those, I'm sure you've seen it. I've seen young men that's literally getting A's and B's, straight A's and straight, and, you know, B's and 3.0 and end up in prison. Literally, just throw it all away. Because they had all this information, but they didn't have character development. And that's gonna take some time when we start dealing with the schools and things like that, but we have to start focusing on that. And the last thing I wanna say is, when we're dealing with the black community, this is something that's not really talked about. I don't even know if it's even noticed. But the black male and the black woman have only been full citizens since 1965. Just think about that. Slavery ended in 1865, but we had another 100 years of Jim Crow. So we were still second-class citizens. We've only got our full citizenship in 1965. 15 years after that, the crack epidemic came. So we only have 15 years to try to get our mind right. 15 years. So it's going to take us to do certain things. For us to sit and wait, you could keep seeing it. We could keep waiting all day for this moral revelation to take place. It won't happen. We have to empower ourselves. So with that being said, I love seeing everybody out here. I hope we just continue to galvanize and use this energy and mobilize and do something great for the community. Peace, y'all.
So we're gonna end with a poem by Matt Savio and also a song by Chelsea Johnson, and she'll go after Matt. And
we got bad lighting. Matt is a two-time National Slam poet, Grand Slam champion of the Damn Slam Los Angeles 2011, and the author of For What I Might Do Tomorrow, born in California. He writes from the vantage point of a second-generation Chicano born in an era of diminishing opportunities and a crumbling economy. His writing, a fearless, challenging, and at times even confrontational blend of humor, history, and political theory, and he is a reflection of those realities. Matt?
Oh, okay. All those things, right? All right, so I was born in El Sereno, which is northeast Los Angeles, on the east side of LA. I grew up seeing police brutality. I grew up experiencing police brutality, and I'm gonna do a poem with you, and I'm gonna be real. Here we go. Here is a nation, packaged complete. Police, escort, skinheads and hooded Klansmen to march hate down public streets. Well, those very same police, quotas to meet, cannon fire on black boys in hoodies and Mexican kids with shaved heads. They are killing our kids. Well, half the nation applauds in the homeland's defense because they think that a white woman's purse has more value than a black or brown boy's life. Here is a nation, hell-bent, 1%, genocide pipeline from underfunded schools to overcrowded prisons. They know Gingrich, our kids, ain't fit for nothing but to life in and out of the system, stripped of innocence, guilt by birth certificates, students, quotas before children, suspects before students, young girls, whores before victims. Here is a nation that eats its young. This is not a democracy. This is not a republic. This is an open-air prison, an industrial scale plantation. Anything and everything you've ever gotten from this system has been a mathematical assessment, a calculated equation set to the algorithm of the cost of doing business. Keep your hands moving, stomach consuming, mind functioning within the narrow confines of your job description. A blood-soaked country forged in genocide, built on slavery by a den of thieves, posing as Messiah, the Constitution, Thomas Jefferson, Jefferson Davis, white Jesus, Western civilization, civilized mission accomplished, manifest destiny, American exceptions, peculiar institutions, institutionalized racial integration to plantation, anthem to slave ship, the bicentennial, you're back to the slave whip at the feet of Lady Liberty, the dirt poor, dead tired, huddle child, labor-driven Popperfield tenements of Ellis Island to Arizona's blood-red coyote trails that traffic in brown flesh, brick by brick, grave by grave, inch by inch, slave by slave. Here is a nation, there are its chains, keep you in place, watchtower, overseer, agent killer, union bust, McCarthyism, Patriot Act, acting in interest of national defense, which if you would stand against it, which hunt for whistle blown, who said that, who did that, which side are you on? Here is the firing squad. They killed Metacomet, they killed Tecumseh, they killed Rieta, they killed John Brown, they killed Nat Turner, they killed the Rosenbergs, they killed Sacco and Vanzetti, Malcolm X and Martin Luther King, they killed Ruben Salazar, they killed Fred Hampton, they will continue to kill in much the same fashion. Here are the blood-soaked fields that claim the life of Andy Lopez, Brasinia Flores, Mike Brown, Latasha Harlins, Trayvon Martin. Half the nation applauded. Here is that nation. This is not a democracy. This is not a republic. This is the state of the union. They are killing our children. And this is one small act of resistance.
That was amazing. Just gonna take a deep breath, you know? So next, sorry. Last but not least, we'll have Chelsea Johnson, and she'll be doing a beautiful song for us. Chelsea Johnson is a recording artist, actress, author. She recently won nationals at the 2014 NAACP AXO competition. Chelsea J recently published an ebook code of ethics for today's teens and contributes to the Pasadena Journal youth page with her monthly newsletter.
Here to sing Say Something by a Great World is Chelsea J.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good evening. First off, I just want to thank Ife and Clark so much for inviting me to be here. I was so happy to be able to march and so happy to be able to be a part of this cause. First of all, just give a hand to them again for this. I love this. Thank you so much. My name is Chelsea J, and I'll be singing Say Something by a Great Big World. And this song, the angle I'll be singing from it is that it's, to me, a song where you are pleading, for a change. You're talking to God, and in your own human failings, you give God an ultimatum and say something, I'm giving up on you. And I feel like with this march we've been doing, Hands Up, Don't Shoot, we can turn to God and be like, why is this happening in our country where we're supposed to be land of the free and home of the brave, and it's not fair and it's not right. And so I hope you enjoy it. Thank you. Say something, I'm giving up on you. I'll be the one if you want me to. Anywhere I would have followed you. Say something, I'm giving up on you, and I am feeling so small. It was over my head, I know nothing at all, and I will stumble and fall. I'm still learning to love and just starting to crawl. Say something, I'm giving up on you. I'm sorry that I couldn't get to you. Anywhere I would have followed you. Say something, I'm giving up on you, and I will swallow my pride. You're the one that I love, and I'm saying goodbye. Say something, I'm giving up on you. I'm sorry that I couldn't get to you, yeah.
So we just want to close with saying thank you for, number one, being here and supporting this effort, because I know that these are issues that don't just affect young people, but they have, and not just young people in other states, but this is real, this is our reality. It happens here all the time. Thank you to all the community members. I'm not going to name you all because there were so many of you that were so supportive, so I will be calling you up. But we want to say, let's not just talk about it, let's be about it. Let's keep this dialogue going in our communities. Let's see some action, because I know we're ready to begin the action.
I'm trying to keep my composure, not cry, but just standing here and knowing that Ife and our young college students, and we were able to pull this off and put this together.
Good job.
My goal in life is to touch the youth through my talents, and today has been amazing. God showed me I can do it in other ways, and to see you guys all here and to come, that you came out, means so much to me, and I know it means so much to Ife, and it should mean a lot to even you yourself that you came out. And I'm just so appreciative that you guys took the time out of your busy schedule and your day to come here and even come with children. I see a lot of people that came with their children. I applaud you for coming. One thing I wanted to end with is that let's continue this dialogue in our community by raising our voices. And the quote I leave you with is, "While wishing and hoping makes you a dreamer, acting and doing makes you someone who can turn dreams."
Hi, I'm Alan Shay.